Hello and welcome into Stony Brook Field here on a warm summer evening in Brewster, Massachusetts. We are just about set for tonight's matchup between the visiting Harwich Mariners and the Brewster Whitecaps. Brewster comes in with a record of 9-8-1, second in the East, while the Mariners sit in fourth with a record of 6-11-2. Hi everybody and welcome into the broadcast. My name is Devin Dobeck and I am joined by my partner Tim Foley. Well, Tim, this is the second of 6 straight important divisional games for Harwich, and they are coming off of back-to-back ties. What is it that continues to hold the Mariners back from consistent production?
Well, you know, it's just about being able to put together timely hits. They've had a couple of innings, but it's just really been even keel with what they've been able to produce and obviously what they've been able to allow on the mound. But yesterday, again, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was leaving opportunities on the bases when you had them. You left 7 runners stranded across the first 3 innings, and you only got 1 on base the rest of the game once Ben Hampton came in and shut you down. And so you need to be able to make the most of your opportunities when you get guys on. You do not want to let any team, especially this Brewster team that you had so many fits with last season, get away with being able to strand guys on.
And for the Brewster Whitecaps, they go with Joe Mancini, the right-hander out of Boston College, whereas the Mariners, with last-minute change, Billy Seidl from Duke supposed to go. He was scheduled, and now it's going to be Cameron Mayer from Tufts University making his first Cape Cod Baseball League start. We'll take you through the Mariners starting lineup, leading off the shortstop, Nick Goodwin, batting second, the right fielder Tommy Seidl, batting third, the center fielder Chris Newell, batting cleanup, the designated hitter Joe Vitrano, batting fifth, the third baseman Kenny Lavari, batting sixth, the second baseman Graham Pauley, batting seventh, the first baseman Hunter Stokely, batting eighth, the catcher Tatum Levins, and batting ninth in left is Cole Harding. First pitch of the ball game gets a piece of Goodwin. He is walked at 5:04 here on a beautiful Sunday night, 4th of July weekend.
Obviously, the idea here is to get the first man on, and one way or another, that's what you're able to do here, so take advantage of these opportunities when you get them. Nick Goodwin back in the leadoff spot because he knows how to get on base, so Coach Englert going back to him for that reason in the top spot, and he's able to get on. And now, of course, you have a guy in Tommy Seidl who's proven what he's been able to do across his time here with the Mariners so far, and Coach Englert's going to hope that he can drive Goodwin around.
And the first pitch gets by the catcher. It sounded like he got something. Might have been Curtis Burns' mask. Thought for a second it hit Seidl in the head, but it'll be a free base for Nick Goodwin, and Joe Mancini starting off really wild here.
Yeah, it just caught the glove of Curtis Burn, and we're seeing a lot of control issues here already from Mancini. 2 pitches, neither of which have found their way into the glove of Curtis Burn behind home. And
Mancini, he's a temp, but he's been good. This is his 4th appearance. They've all been starts. He's thrown 14 complete innings, a record of 1-0, and a 1.92 ERA with 13 strikeouts to just 3 walks. So he's been great and finally clocks in a strike to Tommy Seidl of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So it's Goodwin on second. He got hit by a pitch, and then the wild pitch allowed him to advance down there. No outs. Harwich trying to get on the board first. And they swing right through that one. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Seidl trying to bounce back after what was a rough day yesterday in his first day back in the lineup. Had the Friday night off against Katuitt and then went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts last night against Chatham.
Tommy leads the club in stolen bases and slugging percentage, as well as OPS. That one bounced in the dirt. Nice stop by Curtis Burn behind the plate. He's already been busy tonight. They're using the PitchCom system. You can see Burns got a little earpiece in. Burn of Texas Christian University, a horned frog.
He's got a future teammate in Hunter Hodges on the Mariners.
Congrats to Hunter. Just announced his commitment there from UNC Greensboro, where he was prior. Pitched well to help Harwich get a point last night. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Seidl foul tips it back to the netting, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, and how about that Harwich pitching as a whole last night? 19 strikeouts, 8 from Liam Sullivan, 8 from the pitcher in Danny Wilkinson, and then another 3 from Hunter Hodges in his 1 inning of relief. 19 strikeouts That was the most that any team had against another team since Chatham actually struck out these very Whitecaps, I believe. It was 18 strikeouts that the Anglers had over Brewster back on July 28th. Or June 28th, rather, pardon.
2-2. Bounced in the dirt. Another good stop by Byrne, and it's loaded full. Whitecaps wearing their home jerseys with the pinstripes. It's got navy font with Whitecaps across the front and aquamarine trim. They're wearing the camo hats, it appears, whereas Harwich with their road blues, say Harwich across the front, red lettering, white trim, blue socks, gray pants.
And this is the first matchup between these two teams as well since the Eastern Division Championship Series last season.
3-2 is cut on a miss. Seidl goes down swinging.
It's a nice pitch fastball for Mancini, cranks it up a bit, throws it right by him, and Seidl can't catch up with it. Although Seidl now having a word with Vetrano as he exits off, so trying to alert some of the upcoming batters as to what they're seeing already here from Mancini. It was a good at-bat still, as that was able to drive up the pitch count a bit.
It was a good at-bat, but nonetheless, Seidl goes down. He hit 6th last night, gets bumped back up to that 2 spot. As this pitch is missing in the dirt, and it's 1-0 to Chris Newell from the University of Virginia. Chris scored the only run of the ball game for Harwich last night on a Joe Vetrano RBI single. Mancini takes a look over at Goodwin, and this is fouled off to make it 1-1.
And a correction, it was Brewster who had struck out Chatham 18 times, not the other way around. So, I mean, and really no surprise at that could, because this is a Brewster pitching staff that, you know, you remember what Coach Shevchuk was able to do last year with this team, had the best pitching staff on the Cape, and then no surprise that this year already finding some success with his guys. Team ERA of 2.79, that's good for 4th best in the league.
As 1-1 in there at the knees makes it 1-2. Chris Newell leads the ball club in home runs with 2. He's tied with Nick Goodwin, always a threat with power. And he's been great thus far. He's got a multi-RBI game, multiple walk game, multi-hit game. He's kind of been firing on all cylinders offensively. 1-2. Foul tipped into the glove, held onto by Byrne, and there's 2 away. So we'll take a look at the defense for the Brewster Whitecaps. In left field, Logan Bravo. In center, Javier Vaz. Grayson Tatros in right. And then third to first in the infield, Carson DiMartini, Alex Freeland, Davis Diaz, and David Mendham, with Curtis Byrne doing the catching for Mancini. Joe Vetrano climbs in the cleanup spot. A little Boston College on Boston College action, and a little Joe on Joe action for that matter. These two know a lot about each other, and Vetrano chops the first one back for strike 1.
Yeah, we'll see who ends up getting the better of this matchup here, be it Vetrano the hitter or Mancini the pitcher, with them being so familiar with one another.
0-1 to Joe Vetrano here. 2 outs. Goodwin has not moved since getting over to second, as that one misses low. 1-1.
Yeah, this is something that we've seen before from the Mariners, where they'll get a guy onto second with nobody away, but then guys will start to go down. I remember it was the second game of the doubleheader against Wareham. Tommy Seidl was left on second after he got on there, or left on base after he got to second with nobody away. And it happened again a couple of times since then for the Mariners, and so that's the spot where they really struggle.
Vetrano lifts this one out to deep center field. Back is Vaz, and he puts it away. Vetrano got a lot of that one, but it's a loud out number 3, and the Mariners strand Goodwin at second. We head to the home half of the first. Brewster coming up for the first time here at Stony Brook. We'll take a quick break and be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back, Devin Dobek. Tim Foley from Brewster, Massachusetts will take you through the Brewster Whitecaps batting order. Leading off the shortstop, Alex Freeland. At second base, batting second is Davis Diaz. At first base, batting third is David Mendham. The cleanup hitter is Trevor Warner as the designated hitter. Grayson Tatros in right and bats fifth. Logan Bravos in left and bats sixth. Carson DeMartini's at third, bats seventh. Curtis Byrne, the catcher, bats eighth. And Javier Vaz does the center fielding and will round out the nine. Cameron Mayer into the ball game against Freeland, and what a season Freeland has had. Might be the most power-hitting leadoff hitter in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Leads the Cape Cod Baseball League with 5 home runs thus far. Also leads them in sacrifice flies with 3 and slugging percentage at .673. He's had a great start and trying to improve that here, keep his team above 500.
Yeah, this is somebody who's back for his second stint with the Whitecaps, as that one's in at the knees. 1-2 count now. Batted just .211 last season with the Whitecaps. No home runs, 16 runs, 5 RBI. Struck out 18 times.
1-2 offering coming, and it's popped foul off to the left, and we stay at 1-2.
And so it's been really impressive to see that his second time around, you can tell that he was just able to really grow across his past season over at UCF, and then come back here as a whole different player to the Whitecaps.
As that one just misses, makes it 2-2. Hitting .286 on the season. He's walked also a solid 4 times, and he's got 11 RBI. That is 2 more than the next highest. All out of the leadoff spot. 2-2 as he chops that one foul. For Mayer, on the season, a 1.50 ERA. This is his 3rd appearance, first start. He's gone 6 innings, struck out 6, and walked 1. As this one is lifted high and deep, but foul off to the right. He got a lot of that one, but needs to straighten it out. Still 2-2.
And this is what you want from your leadoff guy. Somebody's going to put up a really good fight, know how to get on base early on, and either straighten out a pitch or take a walk, whichever way he can do it.
As he slaps this one out to right field, but foul once again. Seidl gave it a chase, ran out of real estate. Still 2-2. Nice at bat for him early on here. Already up to 8 pitches is Mayer. On deck, Davis Diaz, followed by David Mendham. 2-2 again is popped off to the left. Going out to get it is Lavari. Coming in is Harding. And it falls in.
Yeah, he overshot it over in foul territory, Harding did. Tough to kind of get a read on it. I mean, with the way that the ball came off the bat, that had a lot of tail on it. It looked like it was going to fly about right over the fence, and so Harding was trying to get as close to it as possible without running into it. But by that point, the ball had miraculously spun back closer to foul territory. Still dropped foul, but ended up behind Harding.
So great at bat here. This will be the 10th pitch. Really making Mayer work. 2-2. Slapped foul again. Alex Freeland really fighting here to stay alive. Spoils yet another. And we stay at 2-2.
Yeah, this is sort of the MO of this Brewster team. They are going to know how to play a very particular style of ball.
As that one, did he go? No, says the third base umpire. So count has worked full. Just the first batter of the game for the Whitecaps, and really making Mayer work as time granted. 3-2 to the UCF product, and he goes down swinging. Took 12 pitches, but Mayer picks up his first strikeout in his first start, and that will be out number 1.
Yeah, I mean, even still a very quality at-bat from Freeland. You're able to work Mayer that long. You're able to get your lineup that long of a look at what Mayer's got in just the very first at-bat, not to mention how much you've just shortened his day. what was already going to be a bullpen day here for the Mariners, but looking even more so like it now.
Diaz bounces this one on one hop to short, throws it wide, but Stokely there to come off the bag and apply the tag. Bailed out Nick Goodwin, who rushed the throw just a little bit, but they avoid this scare, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, and ultimately Mayer bailed out there as well. You're able to, after what was a 12-pitch at bat, retire the next guy on just a single pitch. I mean, that's huge to be able to bounce back and sort of get some of that time back into your outing here today that Freeland took away from you.
David Mendham will climb in. Mendham on the season from Oklahoma State University for the Whitecaps, hitting .310. Watches ball 1 go by. He's also got 3 RBI. Struck out 9 times, but his OBP .333. Thought about it, lays off, and it makes it 2-0.
Yeah, Mayer, first 2 pitches, not able to find the strike zone. Just trying to pick at the plate. Had good speed on that last pitch, but didn't get the call.
Mayer kicks and delivers. The 2-0 misses outside once again, 3-0.
Yeah, tried to go with the off speed that time, but again, that same spot, just missed it. And now he's got to work here.
On deck is the cleanup hitter, and he's going to get a shot here as a 4-pitch walk issued from Mayer. It'll be Trevor Warner now with 2 outs and a runner on. Warner hitting .286 on the season. Doesn't have a homer, but a .250 on base percentage. And for Trevor Warner this season, a native of Houston, Texas, goes to Texas A&M. In 2022, he hit .256 there, had 7 homers, 29 runs batted in, and a few stolen bags. Did punch out 40 times, though, more than once a game. 0-1 to him here with 2 outs. As lackadaisical swing there. Mayer fooled him, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he did not look too comfortable on that swing. Ultimately committed to go around, and so now Mayer a pitch away from his second strikeout.
0-2, Mayer takes a look over at the runner and Mendham into his set and fires. That one just misses the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, it's a good adjustment from Warner. That was the exact same pitch, knew it this time, laid off of it, saw it miss outside, and was able to take that easy ball.
Count is 1-2. As this one grounded over Nick Goodwin. He's going to have to eat the throw as it was hit into a deep part of the infield, and now there's 2 on with 2 away. Harwich defense looks like this. Cole Harding's in left, Chris Newell in center, Tommy Seidl in right, Kenny Lavari's at third base, Nick Goodwin the shortstop, Graham Pauley at second, Hunter Stokely is the first baseman with Tatum Levens doing the catching for Mayer. So a long first inning. He's thrown 21 pitches thus far. Tatro the batter. Tatro on the season hitting .292 from Abilene Christian. 1-0 to him. That one almost took off his shoelaces. Mayer, a D3 guy from Tufts University. The Jumbos, as they call them, referring to an elephant, kind of like Dumbo, I guess you could say. 1-0. Has blasted out to deep right field. Going back is Seidl at the wall. Goes off his glove. 1 run is in. Here comes the second, rounding second, heading into third. Here comes the throw. Tatro is safe. They're saying he got in there. Lavari thought he had the tag on. So it's a bases clearing triple with 2 outs for Grayson Tatro. In comes David Mendham and Trevor Warner. 2-0 Whitecaps.
With how the Suns position here at Stony Brook Field, the ball was right up against it as it was in the line of sight of Tommy Seidl. It wasn't out of the ballpark, just off the end of his glove. He had a chance at it, but again, that sun where it is so brutal that he was blinded in an attempt to play it, and that gave the batter in Tatro all the time in the world to not only make it around a third, but to drive in Warner and Mendham. And so for Harwich, a similar story here where they've now allowed, once again, the first run of the ball game.
That is the first triple that the Whitecaps have hit this season. Comes here in game 20 for Harwich, just game 19 for the Whitecaps. They had a postponement yesterday against Orleans. Kind of a shock considering how the weather turned out, but they will play that now on July 5th out in Orleans. 1-1 is the count to Logan Bravo. Bravo from Harvard University. 1-1 is in there at the knees. Bravo on the season, sitting just 184. No homers, 1 RBI. Does have the 6 walks. 1-2 from Mayer. Just misses outside. 2-2.
And I think you have to think back to how valuable that first at-bat from Alex Freeland was. Again, just to work Mayer early on, to give his teammates an extended look at what he's got before having to come up to bat. I think that set up Brewster very nicely to have the success they have in this inning.
How one just misses. Tight zone we're seeing here. Wow, yeah, a lot of contradicting reactions to that. Good turnout for both fan bases as these very proximate. As broken bat is flipped into center field, it'll be a base hit. So another run comes in. Mayer can't believe it. He's shooting the umpire looks for not giving him that strike 3 call that led to run number 3 there. An RBI single for Logan Bravo. And Brewster now with 2 outs has scored 3 runs. Most earned runs Mayer has allowed in his Cape Cod Baseball League career.
And pitching coach Steve Rosen going out on the mound now, having a talk with Mayer. We've only seen a Harwich Mariner pitcher pulled once in the first inning. That was Noah Dean back against YD earlier this season, the 11-0 loss over at Red Wilson on June 18th. Did not record a single out before he gave up 5 earned runs. It was a very difficult start for Dean, who ended up being cut after that game. And so it's been a rough go of it early on here for Mayer.
DeMartini, the third baseman, climbs in. There goes the runner, and Bravo. Throw down from Levens is bouncing way out of time. It skips into shallow center field. Backup is there from Pauly. So it'll be just the 1 base for Bravo, a stolen base. First of the ball game for the Whitecaps. And you got to understand Mayer's frustration. Such a long at bat to start the game, and then home plate umpire has not given him much to try and help him out, despite his skyrocketing pitch count. 0-2 now on the batter in Carson DeMartini.
Yeah, Mayer right now up to about 31 pitches in this first inning.
It has been a battle, that is for sure. Little baptism by fire in his first Cape Cod Baseball League debut. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that one got a piece of him. That will be the first batter Mayer has hit of the ball game. We saw Nick Goodwin get hit back in inning number 1. But that brings up the 8th batter in the inning, Curtis Byrne, the catcher. 2 on, 2 out.
Number 36, Curtis Byrne.
And for Byrne on this season, he's hitting just 192. A couple RBIs, on base percentage of 276. As this one is grounded foul off to the left, and it's 0-1.
And Byrne, another returner for these Whitecaps. Second straight summer with Brewster. Had a really impressive playoff run for them en route to a championship, of course. Went 5 of 15, had 3 RBI across the playoff games for Brewster last year as they took down these Mariners in the East Division Championship Series.
0-1 misses down low, just below the knees. 1-1. It's been a very small zone thus far. We saw, obviously, a very generous one last night. 31 strikeouts between the two clubs in that game. And a lot of them looking. This is laced, but foul to the left. Caught that one in the sweet spot, just way out in front of it.
Yeah, already a very different ball game from what we saw last night. More runs scored in this bottom of the first inning by Brewster than there were between both Harwich and Chatham last night.
And each club had 3 hits aside in the tie, 1-1 last night. Brewster's already got that here as well. 1-2. Breaking ball is grounded. Goodwin overspins, fires in time. What a beautiful play by Nick Goodwin, spinning, gathering, and firing on the first to end the inning. But the Whitecaps tack on 3 on the back of 3 hits and a bases-clearing triple from Grayson Tatra. We'll take a quick break and bring you the second inning. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Five, 6, 7 due up for the Harwich Mariners after a tough first frame. Kenny Lavari, Graham Pauly, and Hunter Stokely will be up to the task. They face a 3-0 deficit here early on. And Tim, as you've said a million times, the magic number has been 3 for opponents playing Harwich. The Mariners have not won a game when an opponent has scored 3 or more runs. And that happens right here in the first inning. So we'll see how resilient they can be. 1-0 now to Kenny Lavari.
Yeah, I mean, you allowed 4 against an excellent Katuitt team back on Friday, and you ultimately were able to tie them. But even still, just the fact that you've not been able to get ahead of a team who scored 3 runs against you, that's just not a good way to go about your season. It's been absolutely brutal for Harwich. They've not been able to pull it together whenever they fall down.
So Lavari checked his swing, but he did not go. It's going to be 2-1 as that one caught the top of the zone. Lavari of Old Dominion hitting .238 for the Mariners on the season. As that one in there at the knees makes it 2-2.
Yeah, Mancini, he's got a solid lead up there on the mound right now, so he's got all the confidence in the world, and with the way that Harwich has been batting this season, he's got every reason to feel confident.
Here comes the 2-2 from Mancini. He bounces it in the dirt to load up the count. For Lavari, he does lead the team in on-base percentage at .347. He's also walked the most with 6, tied with Nick Goodwin. Kenny just lost his on-base streak as he throws the bat here and goes down swinging. Lost the grip and swung and missed. So kind of a funky strikeout. Lavari goes down and there's one away.
That's the second straight game in which we've seen a bat fly out of a batter's hands. It was yesterday, Chatham, I forget exactly who it was, I believe perhaps Caden Grice, just to throw a name out there, who had not struck out yet, but had launched the bat clear over the fence, clear over the grandstand even.
First pitch to Graham Pauley is in there for a strike. Tonight's umpires, Jason Klump behind the plate, Mike Hinojosa at first, and at third, Rick Emerson. It's 1-1 now. Graham Pauley of Duke University hit a ball club high 292 for the Blue Devils this past season. 1-1. Fouled it off 1-2.
And you know, just thinking back to the bottom of the first inning, Cameron Mayer starting the game, a game in which he was not actually intended to start coming in. This was supposed to be Billy Seidl's day on the mound, and it ended up turning into a bullpen day for the Mariners. Seidl now slated for tomorrow.
As that one makes it 2-2.
So this game could have played out entirely differently from the get-go, were it not for that small decision. I mean, who's to say which way things could have gone either way, but it's just something to keep in mind.
3-2 now to Graham Pauley. Pauley, of course, an ex-Kettleer. Fared well against his old team, scored a run, knocked in another couple in the 4-4 tie. Payoff. He lifts it high, but in the infield, shielding off the sun is Davis Diaz, and he pitches a 10 under, and he's got it for out number 2. So Hunter Stokely, the Babe, will climb in. Member of the University of North Carolina. Hit 285 for the Tar Heels on the season. Handful of home runs for them as well. Had the night off last night. Back in the lineup, though. First pitch. Cut on a miss. And it's 0-1.
Mancini's done a nice job settling in since hitting Nick Goodwin with the first pitch of the ball game, and then airmailing the very next one to Tommy Seidl. He's been able to retire 5 straight, 3 of which have been through strikeouts.
Stokely swings and misses that one 0-2, and he could not wait to get in the lineup here today. It's his last game against Cotuit. He went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Prior to that, he went 2 for 3 against Bourne. That was his best game of the season. Scored a run and also had some great defensive plays. 0-2, misses up high, 1-2 from Mancini.
Yeah, and we're starting to see Harwich and the roster get into a rhythm. I think there was about a transaction almost every single day the month of June, but hasn't been one since June. And here we are in the 3rd.
As Stokely is going to be rung up, and that just about sums up the first couple innings for the Mariners. They go down in order, 1, 2, 3 here in the second. We'll bring you the Brewster half when we return. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back, Devin Doback, Tim Foley. Home half of the second here for Brewster. Brings up the only batter who didn't hit in inning number 1, Javier Vaz in center field. Made a nice play to take extra bases away from Joe Vetrano already. It'll be 9-1-2. Alex Freeland awaits on deck, as well as Davis Diaz. First pitch misses up high for ball 1. Mayer kicks, delivers. That one misses way outside, make it 2-0.
Not a great first couple of pitches from Mayer. First one missed pretty well high. Levens almost having to come out of his crouch for it, and then that one away from Levens on the outside entirely. Goes back to the backstop.
2-0. Just misses the inside corner. 3-0.
And then a much better pitch that time, but just not getting the call.
He's up to 39 pitches. This is the 40th, and it's in there for a strike. Baz from Vanderbilt, a Commodore for them. Hitting .222 on this season, and he fouls off that pitch, make it 3-2. Holding down center tonight, as mentioned. He's worked it full against Mayer. Chops it foul. He's put together a quality at bat here. This will be the 7th pitch coming. Three and 2. Mayer kicks, fires, got him. Battles all the way back to pick up his second strikeout, and there's one away.
Yeah, Brewster opening this inning very similarly to how they opened the last inning. You get a good quality at bat, this time from Vaz, who's able to draw a couple of balls while fouling off plenty of pitches and able to get guys a look. And now you have a guy in Freeland who saw plenty from Mayer in his first at bat. I believe it was about a 12-pitch at bat. He steps in again.
His first one misses it outside, 1-0. And the first 2 batters were recorded in the first inning. Freeland struck out swing after all his madness. Diaz grounded out to short. So all that happened with a 2-out rally. They brought up 6 hitters. 3 came in to score, and they picked up 3 hits. Count is 1-1 now to Freeland. And the pitch got him on the swing, and it's 1-2.
And Harwich had so many problems last year with Brewster too. In fact, did not actually even win here at Stony Brook Field all season long.
Mayer gets him to swing there. Freeland goes down swinging the second time. 2 away quickly.
Now batting, the second baseman, a Vanderbilt Commodore, number 11,
Davis Diaz will climb in. The second baseman grounded out to short. Back in inning number 1. He's up in the count 1-0. Mayer misses. Trying to set him down 1, 2, 3, get his offense back out there. So this one in there, just above the bottom of the zone for a strike, 1-1.
If you wanted to go to the last time the Harwich Mariners beat the Brewster Whitecaps at Stony Brook Field, as that one's in there for now a 1-2 count, you'd have to go back to Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. 12-11 victory for the Mariners that day.
1-2 on the inside corner. How about that? Mayer battling some adversity, strikes out the side here in the second. And we head to the third. Harwich looking to help their pitcher out. They'll be up on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the third inning, Devin Doback, Tim Foley bringing you the action on a beautiful night here in Brewster. Earlier start time than we're used to. Ball game got going at 5 o'clock. Mariners used to playing at 6:30 with the exception of yesterday, a 5:30 start. Tatum Levens in the 8th spot, climbs in for his first licks against Mancini and grounds one right through the hole at short and third. First pitch he sees and first hit for the Mariners. They got something brewing here in the third.
I mean, you needed that. Of course, you got the leadoff guy on and Nick Goodwin back in the first inning too, but to actually make contact with Mancini, big early here in this third inning. Harwich is in need of a rally here. They've not really had an inning all season long where whenever they've gone down big, they've put together a big inning themselves and have actually stuck it to the opposing team. I mean, it's really usually been the other way around. Mariners had a 6-2 lead earlier in the season against Bourne and ended up losing that game. Yet to see the return, really.
Cole Harding back into the lineup in the 9 spot. Fouls off the first one, 0-1. He's in left field tonight. He's kind of been splitting time as the addition of Press Kavanaugh and Chris Newell has really chopped his innings. 0-1. Mancini drops a curveball below the zone, 1-1.
Yeah, something we noticed pregame, Devin, is that Curtis Byrne behind home plate, he's got the earpiece in right now.
Yeah, that pitch comm, kind of modernized thing in baseball. Especially some of the newer guys more accustomed to it. 2 balls and a strike now.
It's interesting to see the sort of style of pitching and brand of baseball that guys are being brought up in now. Of course, you have pitch comm, as mentioned, pitch clocks as well. A lot of guys who are going to be reaching the majors, going to be used to pitching at a quicker clip.
2-1. That one is right down Broadway. 2-2 now to the Cincinnati Bearcat. Cole on the season hitting 146. Native of Westchester, Ohio. 2-2 the count. And here comes the pitch. Chops it back to the netting, and he stays alive.
I mean, you want to stay defensive here. Mariners have not had many long at-bats against Mancini. And generally speaking, they just have gone down striking out.
Nick Goodwin, the leadoff hitter, is on deck. Here comes the 2-2. Up at the eyes, and he works it full. Nice little at-bat here for Cole Harding. This will be the 7th pitch of it. It's been a quality one. Just 6 hits on the season for Cole. And he swings and misses at that one. It was the same pitch he just watched. Should have been ball 4, but Harding a little aggressive there, and he goes down for his 14th strikeout of the season, and there's one away.
Yeah, that was about at his eyes, almost even higher. That thing was well above the strike zone. Harding, I mean, that's the thing. It comes at you right about eye level. It looks like a beach ball coming in. You think you can hit it no matter what, but you just can't get your hands up there in time, and next thing you know, you're not finding any of it.
Nick Goodwin, he was hit by a pitch on the first hit of the ball game. He's down 0-1. Didn't like that call. Looked like it dived down a little bit. Nothing doing from Levens over at first base yet. He led off the inning with a single. Tommy Seidl on deck should he get to bat here. Here comes the 0-1. In there once again, 0-2. Goodwin really frustrated at the plate. It's been an interesting zone from the home plate umpire, Klump. It's definitely gone more in the Whitecaps' direction thus far, but Mayer did get a ring up in the second inning as they take a look over at Levens. Goodwin on the season, hitting .250. That's the best on the team. Mariners lineup that has struggled especially as of late. And as a team, the Mariners hitting just .201. 0-2 now to the Kansas State Wildcat. Mancini kicks, delivers. That one upstairs once again, 1-2.
Yeah, and it gets a little better for the Mariners when you go on the road. 201 jumps up to 219, but even still, it's just really not been going for Harwich at the plate all season long. And this is a Brewster team that really locks it down when they're at home on the mound. 225 here at Stony Brook Field, their ERA.
As Goodwin fouls this one off. And we stay 1-2. And yeah, definitely interesting how Mancini started with a hit batsman and then a wild pitch, considering how great he's been for the Whitecaps. ERA just under 2. He's not a guy who gives up too much, and that's all in 3 starts he's had. No relief. And Goodwin watches that one below the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Mancini trying to force a tough out. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Foul tipped into the mitt. Curtis Byrne holds on. And back-to-back strikeouts help with the leadoff runner getting on. Mariners have just had a lot of trouble moving that leadoff runner around thus far.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we're seeing back in that first inning, as you've just alluded to, Devin, where Nick Goodwin was the man to get on first, and then back-to-back strikeouts swinging, and that's where the Mariners have found themselves again, except this time the man who's on isn't even over at second base. Tatum Levin's still stranded just at first, with now Seidl coming up for his next at-bat.
Tommy Seidl is definitely more than due. First pitch is bounced in the dirt. Levin stays put. Seidl was the second to last player to reach base in every game until that streak ended. Kenny Lavari also dropped his. And for Seidl, coming off a game in which he went 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts, and actually had the exact same line the time before he played against Hyannis. So 0 for his last 8, all things considered. But he has turned in some stellar performances. Against Bourne, he went 1 for 5. Pair of RBIs as well. That a bases clearing triple. 2-0 now to him. Mancini trying to exit the first third of the ball game with a 3-run lead. The pitch. And Seidl lifts it off to the right. 2 balls and a strike. Seidl in right field tonight. Had that ball hit off the bat. Out to him from Grayson Tatro. That turned into a triple. A tough play to make with the sun. Almost had it. Second time he's been close to making quite the web gem. Had another full extension in Wareham. And he lifts this one out to deep left field. Going back is Logan Bravo. Looking up. That ball is gone. Tommy Seidl, as if on cue, lifts one out of Stony Brook Field just under the scoreboard and cuts the lead down to 1 with a 2-out, 2-run knock. His second of the season, tied for the ball club high, and the Mariners are on the board.
Yeah, well, you needed that if you're Harwich. I mean, just for Seidl ahead in the count, he knew he had Mancini right where he wanted him, and so Mancini trying to find the strike zone once again. Left one out there for Seidl to just rock it over the fence and left. Nearly came close with connecting with the scoreboard, as there was nothing Bravo could do but say bravo, as that one went well over his head.
Bravo, a former teammate of Tommy Seidl at Harvard, a few members of the Crimson. Probably seen a lot of that in his day. Count is 1-0 to Chris Newell.
And of course we got a big Tommy Seidl fan club sitting by us here in the bleachers, so plenty of Harwich fans in attendance to witness that one.
Chris Newell climbs in. Count is even to him, 1-1. Newell has struck out already here in the first. Ball and a strike. Newell also has a pair of home runs on the season. Another one would tie the ball game here. Count is 1-2 to him. First mistake that Mancini has made that has hurt them on the scoreboard. That was crucial though. Harwich hates playing catch up. They're still behind, but much more manageable to get 1 than 3. Breaking ball cut on a miss. Newell goes down swinging the second time today, but not before Tommy Seidl lifts a 2-run homer out of the ballpark, and we stand at 3-2, just a 1-run deficit. It'll be Mayer back out there for his 3rd inning of work. We'll take a quick break and be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 3-4-5. Heart of the order due up for the Brewster Whitecaps. David Mendham, Trevor Warner, and Grayson Tatro up to the plate. They are the 3 runs accounted for on the Brewster Whitecaps side of the scoreboard. David Mendham walked and scored. Warner singled and scored, and Tatro tripled and scored. As that one comes right back over towards us, 0-1 on the foul.
And just a quick note on Mancini. Despite giving up the home run, he's struck out 7 batters across his first 3 complete. The season high for strikeouts, an opposing pitcher against the Mariners, is 8. That came last night against Harwich when Ben Hampton took the mound and struck out 8 over 6 1/3 innings.
1-1 offering is chopped softly. Mayer flips a diving flip on the first base. Didn't know if he or Graham Paglia was going to get it, but he lays out and is able to get that for out number 1. That is the 5th straight batter that Mayer has retired.
Yeah, he was uncertain as to whether or not he was going to be the first one to get there, or if Stokely perhaps was going to charge in, Pauly even, but ends up diving out after it, helping his own cause, grabs it barehanded and has sort of a backhand flip to Stokely, just what he needed to get this inning going right, and then comes back with a first pitch strike to Werner.
So Trevor Werner will climb in, designated hitter. Big part of that first inning, as aforementioned. 0-1. Chopped over to Nick Goodwin on a couple hops. He makes it easily, fires on to Stokely. A bit of a stretch for him there, but it'll be a quick out number 2. It seems like Mayer has really settled in here.
Yeah, and we weren't really certain as to whether or not he was going to make it out of the first inning, but he looks good right now. He's been able to force some poor contact from Brewster. He's got 4 strikeouts, including a striking out of the side back in the 2nd inning, and so he's certainly settled into a groove here.
First pitch to Tatro, misses up high for a ball. Tatro, biggest hit of the ball game. He tripled and then came around to score. That was huge. 1-0, misses outside, 2-0, and that whole Brewster rally came with 2 outs. I've said it before, but definitely something to hone in on is Freeland and Diaz were the first 2 outs of the ball game. And then 3 runs came after that, as this one is grounded into left field for a base hit. just past Kenny Lavari. He had no shot at it, and it's 2-out single for Grayson Tatro, his second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, second one with 2 outs as well. It's been impressive, and he's used to coming up in spots like this and putting a bat on the ball. Already 3 for 9 whenever he's come up the bat with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And so not surprising that back in the first he was able to be successful, and then similarly here with 2 outs is able to make some good contact through the left side. Keep this inning alive for Brewster.
So Logan Bravo fouls off the first pitch. He had an RBI single, which is the difference as of now. We stand at 3-2. That third run came off of his bat with a single up the middle. He also stole a base once he got on. So not a bad start for him. Smart guy out of Harvard. Here comes the 0-1 from Mayer. And this is grounded foul off to the left, 0-2.
Yeah, now you're a pitch away here if you're Mayer. Try to sit him down and continue what's been a much better performance here beyond that first inning.
He'd like to work through at least 3. Oh, and 2 the count. To Bravo. Take a look over at first, but back in there without a dive is Tatro. Mayer's longest outing thus far in the season has been 4 complete innings. That was in the 4-1 loss to Bourne back on June 17th. That breaking ball just below the zone. And it will be 1-2. Tatro on first, 2 outs, 1-2 the count to Logan Bravo. The pitch outside. Levens thought about a snap throw over to first. Decides otherwise, and it's 2-2. At Tufts, Mayer had a 5.28 ERA in 8 appearances, 7 starts, as this one is lined right past the dive of Nick Goodwin into left field, and back-to-back hits for the Whitecaps has them in business here with 2 away.
Yeah, we've seen this one before. First 2 go down, but then the next 2 proceed to get on here. Now Brewster again with runners in scoring position, 2 away for now the third baseman here in DiMartini.
Carson DiMartini, third baseman, was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Favorable matchup for him, lefty on righty. Mayer the righty, rocks, delivers, and it's in there for a strike to start things here. Bravo at first, Tatro at second here. 2 away in the third. Brewster clinging to a 1-run lead. They do have 5 hits in the ball game compared to just a Harwich 2. 0-1 is lifted high and deep out to right center field. That's going to be a long run. That ball is falling in the gap. Clings, I think it's out of the ballpark. Home run for Carson DiMartini. A 3-run shot to improve the lead up to 4. It's 6-2 Whitecaps. He chased in 2 on that. Talk about 2-hour rally. The Whitecaps seem to really have that down.
No kidding. And I mean, you really just chalk this up to pitching, or sorry, no, coaching, with the way that Brewster and Jamie Shevchuk is able to direct their players to understand that no matter how many outs there are in an inning, the outing is still alive for you. And Carson DiMartini rockets one over dead center field. Really impressive at-bat from him. Really impressive mental approach here from Brewster early on.
Tough break is just when Harwich had something going. It goes right out the window with a 3-run blast. Called to the bullpen here. Garrett Harker taking the mound for Mayer. We'll bring you his line when we return. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Batting, the catcher from Texas Christian, number 36, Curtis Byrne.
Curtis Byrne gets the baton here of the 2-out rally. Night is over for Cam Mayer. He goes 2 2/3, allows 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, as this one grounded and booted by Nick Goodwin. Reaching on an error now is Byrne to continue the third, but back to that line. Mayer 2 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts.
Not an ideal day for Mayer. Really brutal when you consider the fact that twice the Whitecaps went down twice to begin the inning, but then were able to score 3 runs in those same frames. First and third inning, 3-run innings, both 2-out rallies for the Whitecaps.
It has really hurt the Harwich Mariners. They have really struggled with 2 outs pitching the guys. 1-0 the count now to the 9-hitter Javier Vaz. Now 2-0. Harker from Cincinnati, this is his 3rd appearance, has not allowed a run yet this season. Gone 3 2/3, struck out 7 with allowing just 2 hits. Native of Lebanon, Indiana. 2-0 offering from him is popped up and towards the press box. It gets out of play. It's been a while since we've seen Harker. He pitched back when Mayer did on June the 17th, a 4-1 loss to Bourne. Went 2 innings that day. Threw 28 pitches, did not allow a run. Just the 1 hit allowed. As this one lifted out to left field, but there is Cole Harding, and he's got it for out number 3. But another big inning. Brewster tacks on 3 more thanks to a 3-run blast from Carson DiMartini. They lead this one 6-2. We head to the 4th. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we're into the 4th inning for play-by-play duties. The 2nd, 3rd, I'll hand it over to Tim Foley. Tim?
Thanks so much, Devin, as Joe Vitrano will lead us off in the top half of the 4th inning. Vitrano 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out to center field. And it's been a little miserable for the Mariners here so far. You had an exciting top of the 3rd inning where you were able to get back within 1 run after Tommy Seidl hit his 2nd home run of the season over the fence out and left. As the first pitch comes into Vetrano, misses up high from Mancini. It's now 1-0. But then another 3-spot that were put up by the Whitecaps in the bottom of the third inning have them back up now by 4. As Mancini delivers the 1-0, that's in there for a called strike, and it's now 1-1. Mancini, this is his 4th inning of work. He's looked excellent so far. He's struck out 7 batters. He's only faced a total of 12. Only 3 have managed to get on. As the 1-1 pitch is going to miss for a ball, and the count is now 2-1. We'll also see Kenny Lavari and Graham Pauley up to bat in this inning of play for the Harwich Mariners, as it's a 2-1 count here from Mancini. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, and the count moves to 2-2. Joe Vetrano, across his last 5, he's been one of the bright spots here for the Mariners. 6 of 21, that's good for batting .286. He's been able to come across just once, however, and he's only driven in 2. He's a guy who, despite having a hot bat, has not been set up and has not been moved around once he's getting on. As this one's going to be hit out into center field. That gets beyond the second baseman Diaz's head, and Joe Vetrano is home with a leadoff single. That's the 3rd time today that the Harwich Mariners have managed to get the leadoff man on. It was Tatum Levens who had a leadoff single back in the 3rd inning, and then Nick Goodwin was hit by the first pitch of the ball game to get on to first base to open things up. And so it looked like the Mariners were going to leave Levens stranded back in the 3rd because he had gotten on to first base, but then down went Cole Harding and Nick Goodwin swinging. And it wasn't until Tommy Seidl with 2 outs was able to put a good swing on the pitch and send it clear over the fence and left. Kenny Lavari stands in now for the Mariners, 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, huge hit for Vetrano here to start things. Him and Mancini, of course, teammates, and they were smiling at each other before the at-bat, knowing that each of them wants this a little more. Vetrano wins that matchup.
As that's going to miss down low, it's now 2-0. Lavari across his past 4 games played. Well, he's batting .154. 2 of 13, has not scored a run, nor has he come across to score. So he's cooled off a bit after having quite the streak to get on base to start the season, as the pitching coach is going to come out here, have a talk with Mancini after the count advances to 2-0 here to the batter in Lavari. This is going to be the first of 2 games between the Brewster Whitecaps and Harwich Mariners in a 4th of July home-and-home set. Mariners set to host the Whitecaps at about 5:30 tomorrow. Was originally a 6:30 start time. That's when first pitch was going to be, but it's since been bumped up, and so 5:30 start time, get everybody out to their grills and fireworks perhaps a bit sooner than they otherwise would be on the 4th of July. Every team across the Cape always guaranteed a home game on either the 4th or 3rd of July, should one or the other not be rained out. And so everybody's seemingly going to get both games in. League always loving to capitalize on the fact that you get so many people down on the Cape right around the 4th of July, as the 2-0 comes in, misses down in the dirt right about the feet of Kenny Lavari, and the count moves to 3-0. Mariners trying to get the first 2 on for the first time all game, and they can do so with a ball here from Joe Mancini. Other matchups here today across the Cape Cod Baseball League. Bourne is at Wareham, Cotuit's at Falmouth, YD is at Hyannis, and Chatham is at Orleans. That's going to be a 4-pitch walk issued by Joe Mancini. Misses down low, and so the first 2 are on now here for the Mariners. Kenny Lavari on to first. Joe Vetrano will trot down to second base, and this brings up Graham Pauley, the second baseman out of Duke University. Teammate of Billy Seidl, who was supposed to be today's starting pitcher. It was decided a bit later than usual that the Mariners were going to have a bullpen day, and so Mayer was thrusted into the limelight. He was rattled a bit before Garrett Harker then came into the game to wrap up the 3rd inning. 6 runs ultimately charged against Mayer. Pauley stands in here. He'll take a first pitch ball, and the count opens at 1-0. Hunter Stokely's on deck right now for the Mariners. Stokely on the day, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Pauley in his own right, also 0 for 1. As this ball's going to be hit through the right side, just past the outstretched glove of David Mendham. Down to third is Vetrano. Up to second is Lavari. And Graham Pauley has a single to load the bases for the Babe. Hunter Stokely coming up to bat here in a big spot. A chance to do some damage here for the Mariners and get the Harwich Mariners back closer within this 4-run deficit.
Huge piece of hitting by Pauly. Got jammed up a little bit, but muscles it right between the first and second gap. Gets it into right field. Now they're all loaded up. Believe it or not, Harwich just a swing of the bat away from tying this ball game.
Was not the hardest hit ball. You mentioned it sort of got jammed up, as Lavari wasn't even sure he wanted to run down a second on it. Could have been played potentially by Mendham, but just not able to get there. Stokely takes a first pitch ball. That misses down low in the dirt, and the count is now 1-0. Mariners on the season, whenever they have the bases loaded, batting 154. Out of their 13 at-bats, just 7 RBI in these spots. As it's a 1-0 count, this one's going to be hit on the ground right side. Scooped up by Diaz. On to second for one. Back to first. No throw. That will bring in a run. Joe Vetrano scores. Lavari's down to third. Graham Pauley's cut down over at second, but Hunter Stokely is able to pull into first base safely. A fielder's choice that ultimately is able to get the Mariners back to within 3 here. 6-3 ball game in the top of the 4th inning from Stony Brook Field.
Yeah, not the best thing in the world, but you'll take it if you're Harwich. Trade the out for the run. Just be thankful you didn't get the double play turn from Brewster Whitecaps.
Surprisingly enough, Hunter Stokely not exactly quick over there on his way down to first. A first baseman by trade. As first pitch in is going to miss. Stokely now is going to scurry down to second base. So Hunter Stokely showing off the wheels here today. Surprisingly enough, Stokely, man, about 6'3", 245 pounds, but he was able to beat out a double play ball as well as hurry down to second base on a pitch that ended up missing Burns. So he is showing off here in the top of the 4th inning, and now the Mariners with 2 in scoring position and 1 away. This ball's going to be lined into the alley in right center field by Levens. Coming home is Lavari. Rounding third is Stokely. Levens is into second base, and the Mariners are back to within 1 here from Stony Brook Field. It's going to be a 2 RBI double from Tatum Levens. That's his second hit of the ball game, and the Mariners are able to put up a couple of runs here across their past 2 innings to make things interesting. 6-5.
Wow, what a time for him to wake up. Had just 3 hits coming into today. No extra base hits. Picks up 1 there. What a time to break through for Tatum Levens. He's already scored a run. Gets 2 RBI there. He's been involved with 3 of the 5 thus far. Mariners not done yet with 1 away. And you got to think that Mancini was kind of hung out there a little too long.
And that's the first multi-hit game of the season for Tatum Levens, as that is going to be the day now for Joe Mancini. We will head to a break. Pitching change coming up here from Stony Brook Field. We'll recap the day for Mancini and introduce the new arm on the other side. In the meantime, don't go too far. The Mariners are rallying here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back into Stony Brook Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. The day is done for Joe Mancini, who went 3 1/3, allowed 5 hits. He did allow the 5 runs the Mariners have scored, all earned, and he is still responsible for Tatum Levens. Also had a nice day across his first 3 innings. Walked just the 1 batter and struck out 7. This ball's hit on the right side. Cole Harding in a foot race to the bag with Nezu, and Nezu's going to get there off the relay from Mendham. So down goes Cole Harding. That's the second out of the inning. And down to third now is Tatum Levens. But Jackson Nezu, he is the new pitcher on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps. The transfer out of Florida State, now going to LSU. Sophomore stands in at 6'1", 175 pounds out of St. Cloud, Florida. And from what I take, Devin, had an impressive season last season with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks in the NECBL.
Yeah, he was the Robin Roberts best starting pitcher. He posted a 1.80 ERA through 7 games, one of the best in the league. Finished the season with a 2-0 record, 4th most strikeouts with 49, 30 innings pitched, and a .87 whip and 205 opposing batting average.
So he's got some impressive stuff, as that's going to be popped up. Back at a play foul off the bat of Nick Goodwin, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Goodwin struck out back in the third, was hit by a pitch to open up the ball game. This season for the Whitecaps, Nezu, 6 innings pitched, 0-1 record, ERA of 9. He's allowed 7 hits while striking out 7 and walking 4. This ball's going to be popped up out to right field, caught by Grayson Tatro. And that's going to end the inning. The Harwich Mariners are able to get 3 more on the board. They're back to within 1 against the Brewster Whitecaps. A 6-5 ball game from Stony Brook Field. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball on the other side. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back to the top of the order for the Brewster Whitecaps in the home half of the 4th inning. It's Alex Freeland, who's struck out twice so far in the ball game. First pitch he sees from Garrett Harker's grounded over to Graham Pauley and flipped over to Hunter Stokely at first to record the first out of the inning. So it's going to be Freeland, Diaz, and Mendham. Freeland, however, already retired. So the Mariners off and running here in Garrett Harker's first full inning of work. And the final line for Cameron Mayer, I'm not sure if we ever, no, I believe we did give it, but just to recap for you, came into the game, had a rough first inning where he allowed 3 runs, had a solid second inning, struck out the side, but then another rough inning in the third where he allowed another 3 runs, and he was ultimately pulled for Harker. Went 2 2/3, allowed the 6 hits, 6 runs, walked 1 batter, and struck out 4. It's a 1-1 count here to Davis Diaz, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out to short in his first at bat, I should say, and then struck out looking back to end the second inning. Harker stares in, looks down the batter in Diaz, kicks and delivers. That's going to be hit on the ground. A scorcher left side. That gets past the diving Lavari. Out into the outfield, picked up by Harding, and it's a one-out single from Davis Diaz.
Nice piece of hitting there. Brought the hands inside, caught the barrel on it, and a hard hit ball. Kenny Lavari, full extension there, but not enough. First hit of the day for Davis Diaz.
So this now brings up David Mendham, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Walked and came around to score back in the first inning, and then granted out to Cameron Mayer to open up the third inning. As Harker stares in, looks down Mendham. Runner on first is Diaz. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss down low, and the count here is 1-0. Taking a look around the Cape Cod Baseball League at some other scores. It's 2-2 between the Bourne Braves and Wareham Gateman in the top of the second inning at Spillane Field, as the pickoff attempt back to first is no good. And it's 1-0 Falmouth over Catuit in the bottom of the second over at Ernie Allen Diamond. Still 0-0 in the bottom of the second inning between Hyannis and YD, and then it is just getting started soon over at Eldridge Park over in Orleans, as the next pitch gets away from Tatum Levens. That'll allow Davis Diaz to hurry down to second base, and that takes away the double play ball if you're Harwich, as Diaz is on second and nobody else is on.
Tough break there. Might not have been on the same page. Levin's going to want to go talk to his pitcher and Harker. It's a tough break there, but hopefully he can get on the same page and find a way out of this inning. You don't want Brewster to get any more. They've already gotten enough. 6 runs, all with 2 outs.
And it's not been often Harker's been getting into ball games. Again, this is his first outing since, not yesterday, but last Saturday, being June 25th against Orleans. Pitched an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 hit, no earned runs, struck out 4. It was an impressive outing, but it's tough. He's had stretches of 7 games, then 6 games in between his appearances, and he's been here all season long. So for this, the 20th game of the season for the Mariners, to be just his 3rd appearance for the Mariners, when some guys have appeared in games 5 times already for Harwich. Tough to get into a rhythm, tough to get to recognize your catchers. And so it's a 2-1 count here as he comes back with a 2-0 strike to Mendham. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. Mendham well ahead of that one, and the count evens at 2-2. Harker looking for his first strikeout of the ball game. This is his 5th batter so far. Byrne was able to get on due to an error in the first at-bat to Harker. And then Diaz had the single. Those are the only 2 to get on. That's going to miss down low and run the count full here, 3-2. And of course, an earlier start time here at Stony Brook Field because they have no lights. This one of the 3 fields across the Cape Cod Baseball League to not have lighting apparatus. And so, should it get too dark, this game will be called, although not a cloud in sight to help darken the day. And so, perhaps we can expect this one to be played to completion, depending on how quickly the teams work through these innings. This one's going to be lined back over to Nick Goodwin on a hop. He'll whip it on to first. Stokely leans in, picks it out on the short hop in the dirt in front of him, but he's able to make the out. And so, now 2 gone here in the inning.
Great job that time by Hunter Stokely picking that out, but patience from Nick Goodwin on that play. It was lined on 1 hop. He's able to pull it in and put the runner away.
And Coach Englert coming out. He's seen enough from Garrett Harker. It's going to be, I believe, Drew Conover. I don't believe we've ever had a Sean Conover on the roster. Coming into the ball game as the day is done for Garrett Harker. We'll be back in a minute. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside Stony Brook Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you as Drew Conover has taken the mound with a runner on second base in Davis Diaz. The day is over for Garrett Harker. His line looks as such. He pitched an inning complete, allowed just the one hit to Diaz. Didn't walk anybody, didn't strike anybody out. He is responsible for Diaz, and so his ERA of 0 at risk here unless Conover, one of the 3 other Mariners on this year's roster to have maintained an ERA of 0, is able to bail him out. First pitch strike from Drew Conover. That's in there to the batter in Trevor Werner. Werner 1 for 2 on the day, singled and came all the way around back in the first inning. He was the second out of the third inning before the Whitecaps started yet another 2-out, 3-run rally. Off-speed pitch is going to miss outside. Now 1-1 from Drew Conover to Trevor Werner. Conover, this is his team-high 6th appearance of the season. He's pitched at 8 2/3 innings to this point. He's struck out 10 batters to 0 walks. He's allowed 4 hits as well on the campaign. That's going to be belted back up the middle, and that's going to bring in the run. Coming in from third is Davis Diaz. And so the Whitecaps now back up by 2 as that's going to be a run charge to Garrett Harker. His ERA no longer 0. There remains just 3 Mariners on this year's roster with an ERA of 0. That is Conover, as well as Danny Wilkinson and Teddy Sharkey. Unlikely we will see either Sharkey or Wilkinson. Certainly not Wilkinson, who pitched an excellent game last night, 3 complete, 8 strikeouts. Perhaps Sharkey, haven't actually seen him in a few nights, not since the game over in Hyannis. As first pitch is in there for a strike from Drew Conover, and the count opens at 0-1.
Conover, big fisherman, loves spending time down here on the Cape, throwing in a few lines. Going to Rutgers, leaving his former school in Seton Hall, because that's where his dad and mom both went and were athletes at, and also a New Jersey native, so excited to play in his home state.
That's going to miss down in the dirt. Count now moves to 1-1. Yes, Conover of Cranbury, New Jersey. Went to North Hunterdon High School. Birthday coming up later this month. That'll be on July 27th. Got plenty of time before then, however, here. Just about 3 weeks, thereabout. 1-1 pitch comes in. That'll be chopped on the ground right down the third base side. That's going to be foul. Kenny Lavari fields it in foul territory, and having to head back to first base is going to be Trevor Werner. So Grayson Tatro stands in with the 1-2 count against him here. Tripled and singled so far in this game. Came around to score each time. He's had a great day at the plate for the Whitecaps. After on the season, batting .292. Really continuing what's been a great season for him. He's doubled his run totals on the season. 2 coming into today, 2 on the day alone. It's a 1-2 count. The runner goes. That's going to be hit across the left side, picked up by Lavari. Throw on to first is in time, and the inning ends. Drew Conover does allow a single to help bring in Davis Diaz to Trevor Werner, but he gets Tatro to ground out to third, and the inning ends. The Harwich Mariners down by 2, but they've scored 2 in each of their past 2 innings. We'll see how they respond when we return for the top of the 5th inning. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
Check those out.
Welcome back into Stony Brook Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you as Tommy Seidl, who had a home run in his last at-bat, leads us off in the top half of the 5th inning. It was a nice piece of 2-out hitting for Seidl, as the Mariners at the time were brought back to within 1. He chops the first pitch he sees on the ground to Carson DiMartini, and he will throw it out to first to Mendham, and there's 1 away on 1 pitch in the top of the 5th inning. For Jackson Nizu, who's back on the mound, this is now his first full inning of work. Came in and retired both Cole Harding and Nick Goodwin back in the top of the 4th inning. And so he's going to look to have an extended look here at the Harwich Mariners lineup as Chris Newell now comes up to bat. Newell on the day, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He was the 2nd and 7th strikeout victims for Joe Mancini. First pitch is going to come in, a broken bat, flyer over to short, and that's going to be caught. Alex Freeland charges in and makes the catch on a Chris Newell bloop shot over his way. And very quickly, on just 2 pitches, there are 2 gone in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Nezu's doing a great job of being efficient, moving through this Mariners order. It's been a war of attrition. These pitchers have been hung out there for a long time. A lot of offense in this game, 12 runs already, and we're not even halfway through. So if you can get outs quickly, 2 pitches all it took to get these first 2. Now another good test in Joe Vitrano here with 2 away.
Yeah, the Mariners, they're going to have to look for something here with 2 gone as Joe Vitrano, who's 1 for 2 on the day, singled back in the 4th and ended up coming all the way around to score, stands in. First pitch into him is going to be in for a strike, and the count opens at 0-1. This is the 2nd time all day that the Mariners have had the first 2 batters retired. It was Kenny Lavari and Graham Pauley who each went down to open up the 2nd inning. The 2nd would be closed out by a strikeout from Joe Mancini on Hunter Stokely looking. So Harwich looking to avoid their 2nd 1-2-3 inning at the plate of the day. It's a 1-1 count here to Joe Vitrano. He receives the pitch from Nizu. Swing and a miss, a healthy cut that he got nothing of, and the count is now 1-2.
Did have a big single to start off that 4th inning, that 3-run 4th inning, but now with 2 outs, it's going to be a little more difficult to stretch something across.
Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3. Got him looking. Down goes the batter in Vitrano, and that's the first strikeout of the day for Jackson Nizu. He's retired the first 5 he's faced, and the Mariners are still down by 2. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning in just a moment. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
From Harvard, number 17, Logan Bravo.
It's going to be Logan Bravo, the left fielder out of Harvard, pardon me. Former teammate of Alabama product Tommy Seidl. I'm getting ahead of myself here. He stands in to lead it off. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Singled and got as far as second back in the first inning, and then singled and came all the way around come the third inning. First pitch strike is in there from Drew Conover, who came in and did a nice job across his outing. Did allow the single to Trevor Werner to bring in the run from Diaz, but he was then able to get Grayson Tatro to ground out to third thereafter. As it's now an 0-2 count, back-to-back strikes from Conover as he's looking to get his first strikeout of the day. He's got 10 on the season, looking for number 11 on the next pitch. Stares in now. Bravo, ready in the box. Conover comes set, kicks and delivers. That's going to miss outside, and the count moves to 1-2.
Bravo, another guy with some hardware in the NECBL. The Steven Strasburg top pro prospect he was. League leader in home runs with 14, top 2 in RBI with 32, and helped the North Shore Navigators secure their first North Division title since 2010.
That pitch is going to miss, and the count is now 2-2. And you really do always love to see guys who are able to advance from other local leagues, NECBL, FCBL, even the Northwoods leagues, not local, but yet another league, and find their way here to the Cape after proving what they've got and finding their way to play among the best of the best. As this one's going to be slapped over to shortstop. Goodwin on a throw over to first is able to make it in time, and Bravo goes down. That's 6-3 putout for now Carson DiMartini, who comes up to bat.
First time Bravo's been retired, had back-to-back singles before that. And now another difficult out in DiMartini. He's reached base twice and hit a 3-run bomb in that most recent at-bat.
Yes, he is a big reason why the Whitecaps are still ahead here. 7 runs have been put up by Brewster so far in this one. As a bunt's going to be shown on the very first pitch, that's going to be in for a strike, and so the count is opened at 0-1. Here to the batter, in DiMartini. Starting to cool off a little bit here at Stony Brook Field. Always an interesting time coming here to the confines of Stony Brook Elementary as that pitch misses 1-1. We're set up along the first base side. We're sitting among some of the fans here in the bleachers, and boy, Devin, we were talking about it in between innings. We're going to need to see perhaps a chiropractor, a masseuse after the game. As the 1-1 pitch, that's going to miss down low. It's 2-1.
I can't sit still. It's just
no backrest.
Not comfortable. My father's got some chair backs I'll have to bring next time we make the trip out here.
Yeah, we got 2 more times here, so might want to find those, dust them off.
We got plenty of them, and they're not dusty, I'll tell you that.
It's a 3-1 count now as the 2-1 misses high and outside. Here at Stony Brook, among a couple of other communities here on the Cape, is the canned aluminum water bottles. As the 3-1 misses down low in the dirt, Carson DiMartini will head down to first on a 1-out walk. Of course, that was an act that was enacted earlier in the year. I believe it was this year, where you are no longer allowed to be selling plastic water bottles, or at least across the Cape from what we've seen. I believe over at White House Field as well, you have the aluminum canned water bottles. You also have over at Eldridge Park in Orleans. I remember they had them there. Here now it's Stony Brook as well. I know in Chatham they offer them as well. As that one's going to skip in there for a strike. So now if you hear a crack of the can in the background, you're not going to know whether or not someone's opening a soda or some high-quality H2O. As it's an 0-1 count. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Whitecaps have a man on first. That's Carson DiMartini, who's on for the 3rd time today. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Curtis Byrne well ahead of that one. He's gotten on once already today. That was on an error by Nick Goodwin back in the 3rd inning. Harwich on the season now up to 14 errors. Had a team fielding percentage of .980 coming into today. I believe that's the 4th error of the season on Nick Goodwin. He's had a busy season over at short, as that's going to miss down low. It's now 1-2.
Actually, the 5th, I believe. I'll confirm that, but had a stretch where he made 3 straight of the team's errors. Get you some dates and some numbers in just a moment.
As mentioned, it has been a busy season for him over at short, as it's 1-2 here to the batter in Byrne. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Drew Conover has his first strikeout of the ball game. He's able to get Byrne well ahead of that one. And the count will reset for the next batter in Javier Vaz.
Yeah, not to hone in on Goodwin, but made errors on 3 straight days, June 16th, 17th, and 18th. Made one. 2 of those came in the first inning. Then he made one more on June 30th against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That one also came in the first inning.
And did have the most recent one yesterday, or not yesterday, pardon, back against Hyannis back on Thursday night over at McKeon Park. Count is 1-0 here to Javier Vaz, who stands in. Vaz 0 for 2 on the day, has a strikeout. As the runner goes for second, throw down to the bag is not going to be in time. Nick Goodwin's able to snare it before it skipped into the outfield, but the throw was short from Levens behind home, and so Carson DiMartini is able to hurry down to second base. He has a stolen base now, as the Whitecaps have a man on second with 2 gone. DiMartini, that is his second stolen base of the season. It's a 1-1 count here to Vaz. Conover stares back at second base, looks home, and delivers. That's going to miss down low, and the count is now 2-1.
Got to find a way to get out here. Brewster has scored in 3 of 4 innings on offense thus far. They've been very consistent. If Conover, your best reliever, can come in and eat some innings of scoreless ball, helps give your offense a chance.
2-1 pitch is going to be lifted out to left field. Diving in, making the catch. Cole Harding, no, they're going to say he dropped it. Coming home to score is Carson DiMartini. Up to second base is Javier Vaz. And the Mariners thought they had out number 3, but it dropped out of the glove of Cole Harding, who gave an all-out effort to be able to reel that one in, but he was just a few inches short of it and unable to keep the grip on it as the inning continues here for the Whitecaps. Vaz up to second. In to score is DiMartini, and that is now 4 out of the 5 innings here from Stony Brook that Brewster has been able to tack on a run. 3rd straight at that.
Pretty frustrating if you're Harwich. You finally get a chance to make a play and you come up that short. Kind of the summary of the day. A lot of the damage here has been done with 2 outs. Yet another run scored there. That's the 7th, I believe, with 2 outs.
Runner goes down to third, and that's going to get away from the third baseman, Lavari, as it's picked down by Levens. Coming home to score is Vaz, and an unforced error there from Levens is going to make this now an 8-5 ball game. 2 have come across now here in the 5th inning for Brewster, as the Mariners down by 3 once again.
Tough break. But what are you going to do? I actually believe they're going to be down 4.
4, pardon, as I miscount. Nonetheless, not a pretty sight here for Harwich, as it's 9-5 now, with that run having come across, 2nd of the inning. Conover's pitch is going to miss, and so the count evens at 1-1 now here to Alex Freeland, who is 0 for 3 on the day. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second. Here's the 1-1. That's going to be belted out towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Alex Freeland is on for the first time today in his 4th at-bat, and the Whitecaps are rolling here from Stony Brook.
It hurts. Everything's been happening to you with 2 outs. Drew Conover, your best reliever, comes in and gives up another 2. But what are you going to do? You just got to pitch through it. Your offense has been resilient thus far. It's going to be hard to come back for a 3rd time in one ball game, but nothing out of the realm yet. Still plenty of baseball.
So the 9 runs that the Whitecaps have put up here against the Mariners, this is the 2nd most runs that Harwich has allowed all season. Tied for the 2nd most runs all season, I should say, allowed by the Mariners, as it was 11 back earlier in the season against Harwich. That was against YD back on that Saturday, June 18th game, a game that only went 6 innings, as the first pitch into Davis Diaz is going to miss outside, well outside, that it gets to the backstop, and Alex Freeland heads down to second base. So on the wild pitch, the runner advances, and the Whitecaps again have a man in scoring position. Also ties the 9-0 walloping that the Mariners suffered at the hands of the YD Red Sox back on June 28th. That was back on, I believe it was last Monday, as the off day was on that, or no, pardon, it was on last Tuesday. Off day was last Monday. It's a 2-0 count now here to Diaz, as it's not been pretty for Harwich. 3 out of the 5 innings, the Whitecaps have managed to score at least 2 runs. 3 in the first, 3 in the third, and 2 here in the 5th. Conover stands back on the mound. Man on second is Alex Freeland. Diaz stands in 1 for 3 on the day, singled and came all the way around back in the 4th inning. He was the 1 run to score in the 4th. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss down low, and the count is now 3-0 to Diaz.
Just been a tough day for the Harwich staff, coming off a day in which they were so dominant. Just 3 hits allowed, struck out 19. They're brought back to earth here. 9 runs allowed, 10 hits. It's been the complete opposite.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's in for a strike, and the count now 3-1. And really surprising to see it happen to a guy in Conover, especially, who again has been excellent this season for the Mariners. The runs he's allowed here, the first to his name this season. Here's the 3-1. That's in for a strike, and the count is now 3-2. It's run full here to Davis Diaz. And the 3 hits he's now allowed here today, the most he's allowed in a single outing so far this season. Previous high was 2 back on the 2nd game of the season against Chatham in that 5-2 loss over at Veterans Field. The 3-2 count here to Davis Diaz, as Conover looking for strikeout number 2, and more importantly, looking to get out of the inning. Looks back towards second base, toward home, second again, and now the pitch. That's going to be belted opposite field right at Tommy Seidl. He'll make the catch and end the inning. Another 2-run inning from the Brewster Whitecaps, and they are up by 4. 9-5. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Mariners down by 4 when we return. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you back inside Stony Brook Field as the Harwich Mariners currently trail by 4 here to the Brewster Whitecaps, a 9-5 lead for the reigning Cape Cod Baseball League champions. It was a clean sweep of the Harwich Mariners the last time these two teams faced off in the playoffs last season. Of course, the Mariners' season effectively ending on a brutally called balk in the top of the 9th inning of a tie ball game to put the Whitecaps ahead for good. It's a 9-5 lead here for Brewster. The count is 2-0 to Kenny Lavari, who leads it off in the top of the 6th inning for the Mariners.
Kenny has walked and scored, also struck out on the night.
That's going to be popped up out toward left field, trailing foul, but heading over is Bravo, and he'll make the catch. 1 and gone.
Nice play there. A lot of ground to cover. Ball probably would have gone foul, so a free attempt over at Bravo. Swoops on him, makes the play, 1 away.
Now batting the second baseman from Duke.
Graham Pauley steps up to bat now. Pauley on the day. He is 1 for 2. Pauley's been stepping up across his past couple of games here for the Mariners. Batting .250 across his past 2 games played. This is going to be batted right back up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. His second of the day, Graham Pauley, as he's able to get on to first with 1 gone here in the top of the 6th.
And he's really making a case to keep himself as an everyday guy in the lineup. Another multi-hit game for him, back-to-back that he's appeared in. He's had multiple hits. Big one there. Maybe Harwich can add a few more behind it, chase him in.
Speaking of big ones, Hunter Stokely steps up to bat now for the Harwich Mariners with a man on first and Graham Pauley. Stokely on the day, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. And he'll take a first pitch strike with 1 gone, and Graham Pauley over on first base. Pauley on the season now, as Nezu, who's back out there again for the Whitecaps, stares in and delivers. Misses up high. It's 1-1. That is the second game here for Harwich in which he's been able to record 2 hits. Had 2 against Katuitt back the other day against the Kettleers in a 4-4 tie. It's a 1-1 count here to the batter in Stokely. The pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the count now 2-1. Man on deck is Tatum Levens. He's had a nice day at the plate, a single and a double. Come home to score once, got stranded on third the other time. Here's the 2-1 to Stokely. That's going to miss outside. It's now 3-1.
Stokely did score that run back in the 4th after reaching on a fielder's choice at the expense of Graham Pauley, who stands on first. Like to avoid sacrificing him this time.
One of the few times that a Blue Devil and a Tar Heel are trying to work with one another, as that's going to be in there for a strike. Count runs full at 3-2.
Yeah, you run a good point there. Talk about a rivalry. Maybe not as much so in baseball, but 2 schools do not like each other. That is for sure. And they bat right behind each other in the order.
Here's the payoff pitch. Skips down in the dirt, and Hunter Stokely will take a base. He's on for the 2nd time today, as Pauley advances down to second. And the Mariners have 2 on here with 1 gone. And a man who has been hot today in Tatum Levens coming up to bat. Again, this is his first multi-hit day of the season. And he's looking to continue to tack on here if he can deliver with a base hit. Of course, you want to avoid the double play ball if you're Levens. As Nezu, he's looked good since coming in relief of Joe Mancini. He was able to retire 6 straight batters before the single to Graham Pauley. First pitch is going to miss for a ball, and the count is 1-0.
And Levens has been a part of 3 of the 5 Harwich runs. He's got a runner in scoring position now, 2 on, a chance to do some more damage and help his stats out.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss up high, now 2-0. And so Levens working the count here. A couple of easy takes for him as he's looking to get on for the 3rd time today, trying to load the bases for Cole Harting. It's a 2-0 count as Nezu stands in. Is some action over in the Brewster bullpen. I'd love to tell you who's in there, but Jason Klump is blocking my field of view here as the 2-0 is going to be fouled straight back. It's now 2-1. Klump so kind as to step out of the way. Looks like for the Whitecaps, one of the arms warming up, Paul Gervais out of Louisiana State University. Perhaps we'll see him. We'll see just how long Shevchuk decides to let his righty in Nezu go. Here's the 2-1. That's in for a strike. Count evens at 2-2.
Levens got to protect here. Don't be too selective. Got to at least give yourself a chance to move the runners over for Cole Harting. Last thing you want to do is go down with a strikeout.
Nizu comes set, stares back over at second. Here's the pitch. That's just going to miss down low, and the count runs full at 3-2. Chance for Levens to get on base. Would be the second straight walk from Nizu. He's only struck out the one batter so far across his inning and 2/3 pitched so far here. As that's going to be chopped foul, or pardon, is 2 complete innings pitched. As we'll do it again at 3-2 in just a moment.
Good at bat here, making him work. He's struggling. Maybe he'll hang one for you, or else you can work your way on with ball 4.
It's a 3-2 count here to Levens. Nizu stares back at second and comes home. Ball 4 missed outside. Tatum Levens is on. That's the 3rd straight Mariner to get on base. 2nd straight walk at that. And the bases are juiced for Cole Harding, who's 0 for 2 on the day, looking to break out of a slump here in this at-bat.
3rd time Levens has reached base today. A single, a double, and now a walk. He's been sensational. Hopefully Cole Harding can find a way to move some guys around. 1 out and time to work with.
As the pitching coach going to come out here for the Whitecaps, going to have a conversation with the pitcher in Nizu, and so at that, let's take a look around the Cape Cod Baseball League. Look at your out-of-town scoreboard. The top of the 4th inning over at Spillane Field in Wareham. That game tied at 2 apiece between the Gatemen and the Braves. Bottom of the 4th over in Falmouth, 2-0 lead for the Commodores over Catuit. It's in the bottom of the 4th inning at McKeon Park in Hyannis, a 0-0 ball game there. And then Orleans leads the Chatham Anglers 1-0. That game in the top of the 3rd inning over at Eldridge Park. As the conversation on the mound disperses, everybody will head back to their stations. Hunter Stokely's on second base. Graham Polly's over on third. Tatum Levens is on first. And the man at the dish is Cole Harding. Again, 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. Grounded out to first over in the 4th inning. It was a relay from Mancini over to Nizu in his first piece of action on the mound. Or pardon, from Mendham over to Nizu in his first piece of action on the mound. That one's going to be tipped back into the mid of Byrne, and the count opens at 0-1 to Cole Harding. Harding on the season for the Mariners. 6 of 41. That's batting 146 coming into today. No home runs, does have 1 RBI, a chance for more if he can do something here. That's going to be hit on the ground left side, stabbed at. Play at the plate is going to be there as Burns was able to keep his foot on home plate. There's the force out. That's some situational baseball from Brewster as they're able to keep a run off of the board while recording it out. Down goes Pauly as everybody else will advance up a station.
Tough break there for Harwich. Nice pick by Byrne behind the plate. That could have been real trouble if he doesn't dig that out. Big time play, and his team gets an out. No runs cross here.
So now you need something here from your leadoff man, and Nick Goodwin, who is 0 for 2 on the day, was hit by the very first pitch of the ball game, then struck out swinging back in the 3rd. This one's hit on the ground over to the 3rd baseman, DeMartini. He will apply the tag to 3rd base and end the inning. The Harwich Mariners leave them loaded. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back with more Harwich Mariners baseball in just a minute. A 9-5 lead for the Brewster Whitecaps. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
for Harwich from East
Welcome back inside Stony Brook Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dopick along with you. It's a new pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. Andrew Ronnie steps into the ball game. Comes into today having pitched 8 complete with an ERA of 7.87. This is his 4th appearance of the season. 9 strikeouts to 4 walks. He's also allowed 11 hits. So he's somebody who does give up some contact, but the Mariners are going to need him to stay locked in here. Down by 4, but certainly if you want a chance across the final 3 innings at the plate, you want to keep the runs limited, as Nick Goodwin's not able to bat down the ball that was hit hard to the gap by David Mendham. Hits it out into the outfield as Mendham is on with a leadoff single for the Whitecaps. That's his 2nd time getting on today, 1st hit.
Nice piece of hitting. Goodwin, even if he does knock this down, he's got no play over at first base. Good single to lead things off, but Ronnie also has given up 8 runs on the season. That is tied for the most on the Harwich Mariners staff.
This is his 1st appearance since that last game at home against YD. The 9-0 loss against the Red Sox. Pitched 3 complete innings in that one. Gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, struck out 4 batters, and walked 3. As that's going to be it for a strike. The count now 1-1. The day for Drew Conover looked like this. He pitched an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits, allowed 2 earned runs, walked 1 batter, and struck out just 1. A bit of a rattling for him, more than what we're used to seeing from Conover. As the 1-1 comes in for a called strike, it's 1-2.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's been lights out all season long. 10 strikeouts across 8 2/3 coming into today, and then just had trouble finding a location. He threw 4 wild pitches in his warm-up on the mound, so definitely just wasn't his day.
As the next pitch is going to be tipped back foul, and so it's now 1-2 still. So that leaves just 2 Mariners with an ERA of 0 on the season, Teddy Sharkey and Danny Wilkinson. Again, perhaps Sharkey an option. Hasn't played since Thursday night, but certain not to see Wilkinson here tonight, as this one's going to be hit out toward right field. A high fly ball. Seidl gets there with plenty of time, makes the catch, and there's now 1 gone, as tagging back over to first base is Mendham.
Big first out. You're already down so much, you don't want to find any more reason to have longer innings for guys that are being sent out there. Already on your 4th pitcher. It's been a trying day. You got another one tomorrow against this same squad. Haven't had an off day in a very long time. That doesn't come till Tuesday this week. So trying to save as many arms as you can. Need quick outs.
First pitch is in for a called strike. It's 0-1. And yes, last off day was back last Monday for the Mariners. That was back on the 23rd after, or pardon, no, the 27th after the doubleheader against Wareham. 0-1 pitch is going to miss for a ball. It's now 1-1. Of course, Brewster won't have the day off on Tuesday. Had that happen yesterday after their game with Orleans was a wash. They will be back out there against the Firebirds on Tuesday when everybody else has taken the day. It's a 2-1 count.
Ronnie from Athens, Tennessee, 6'4", 190 pounds.
Just got some height on him. As 2-1 comes in, that's going to be hit over the second baseman in Polly, and that's going to get into right field. David Mendham heads down to second. Tatro moves up to first, and the Whitecaps have runners on first and second with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
He pitches to contact, and that's what we're seeing here from him. Giving up a few hits early on thus far, and got to find a way to settle in. Your team really needs outs, especially with daylight going away. Time running out, innings running out.
As the first pitch comes into Logan Bravo for a called strike, and no, you put it well, Devin, you need to preserve as much daylight's left here today for your offense as possible. It does you no good to be out in the field down by 4 when you're effectively on a time limit. Not often is baseball a timed sport, rarely ever, if at all. But you can say that here across 3 of the fields in the Cape Cod Baseball League, it is. It's a 1-1 count here to Bravo. Bravo on the day, 2 for 3. Came around to score once. That was back in the 3rd inning. Has a stolen base as well. Swing and a miss at the 1-1, and the count is 1-2. Still a beautiful day here in Brewster, Massachusetts. Lovely to have a full 44-game season back after an abbreviated 36-game season last year. The 1-2 is going to miss outside. It's 2-2 with 1 away.
Really good pitcher's pitch there. Pulled the string at the last second, just missed the outside corner, wanted it. But he'll have to go back out there. A nice pitch, but credit to Bravo, didn't chase.
Ronnie stares back at second and delivers. Got him at the hands. He got him. Strike 3 looking. Down goes Logan Bravo. He did not quite agree with it. Came in tight about the hands, but he got him. So says Jason Klump. And so there's now 2 gone for Carson DiMartini.
Big strikeout. Great job there by Ronnie to battle through a little adversity with a couple runners on. Pitches a non-contact out, 2 away.
So again, as mentioned, DiMartini up to bat. First pitch into him is going to miss for a ball. Account opens at 1-0. On the day, DiMartini hit by a pitch back in the first. Had a 3-run shot back in the 3rd inning to help blow this thing wide open. And then walked and came all the way around in the 5th inning. He has had a day, as have many of these Whitecaps. As count is now 2-0 as that pitch misses for a ball. So Brewster up to 12 hits on the day. That's the most hits that the Harwich Mariners have allowed in a ball game all season long. As it's a 2-0 count here from Ronnie to the batter and DiMartini. Mendham on second, Tatro on first. 9-5 lead for the Whitecaps. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Goes back to the backstop, perhaps got a piece of it. It's now 2-1. Season high and hits allowed 11 prior to today. That was back on June 21st against the Orleans Firebirds. What was ultimately a 6-3 loss against Orleans. And so Harwich again not faring well here after having allowed double-digit hits. Down by 4 as we are close to approaching the final third of the game. That skips in the dirt and the count advances to 3-1 with still 2 on here. And Brewster, they have not gone away all afternoon when batting with 2 outs. It's been just utterly impressive to see the level of focus that these Whitecaps have had when having 2 outs against them. As that's going to miss inside, ball 4. That will put DiMartini on base. And the Mariners have the bases loaded here for Brewster as Curtis Byrne comes up to bat.
And there's only been less than 5 batters up to bat once in an inning for the Whitecaps. They've just been passing the torch very well. Another long inning here. This will be the 5th hitter. Hopefully can keep some runs off the board if you're Harwich, though.
As Byrne on the day, 0 for 3. Grounded out to short, got on with an error, and struck out swinging in his last at-bat. It's a 1-0 count to him here. Bases are juiced. He'll chip this one back foul. And the count is now 1-1. Again, the season high in runs allowed for the Mariners is 11. Curtis Byrne is trying to set a new watermark if he can get a piece of one here. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed. 1-2. Now, Andrew Ronnie a pitch away from his 2nd strikeout of the game, as well as getting out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground very softly. Ronnie has to charge in. Levens grabs it. Throw on to first is in time. They got him. Just barely. Ronnie and Levens, a communication breakdown, but Levens is able to muscle the ball away and whip it down to Stokely to end the inning. The Whitecaps leave them loaded. The Mariners are able to keep them off the board for the first time since the 2nd inning. We'll be back with the top of the 7th in just a second. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Price is right for the Brewster Whitecaps, who lead it 9-5 here against the Harwich Mariners. For play-by-play duties across the final 3 innings of play, my broadcast partner, Devin Dobik. Devin.
Thank you, Tim. Mariners looking to get something going. They trail by 4 as the night is over for Nazu. He goes 2 2/3, allows just the 1 hit, walks a pair, no runs allowed, and strikes out 1. Call to the bullpen. It's going to be Colton Sundloff. Colton, a rising sophomore at Oklahoma, 6'5", 200 pounds from Erta, Utah. This past season, he made 18 appearances, 21 innings, had a 2-0 record, a 6.86 ERA, 16 strikeouts to 11 walks, while opposing batters hit .351 against him. It's not the greatest stat line, but he's got plenty of insurance to work with as of right now. We'll see what he can make of it. Number 3 overall prospect out of Utah. Number 120 amongst righties nationally by perfect game. First pitch now to Tommy Seidl as he climbs back in there is a strike. 0-1 to start things. Seidl has struck out, hit a 2-run homer, and also grounded out to third. 0-1 from Sundloff. And the pitch. Seidl thought about dropping a bunt. He just missed it as it skitters foul, and it's quickly 0-2.
And Sundloff here in his debut. Have to see what he has on offer again. Something I always say is that it's not about how you get here. It's what you do when you are here. Obviously, you mentioned his stat line there a bit, but he has found his way here to Brewster, a ball club that does an excellent job with their pitchers. And so, certainly a great spot to develop for him.
0-2 is the count. 2-3-4 due up. And here comes the pitch from Sundloff. This is chopped over to third base. DeMartini charging in, fires a strike on the first for out number 1.
A good hustle from Seidl at that, at least. Put his head down and just started barreling toward first. But sometimes you see it on those softly hit balls in the infield. Those are the ones that you have a chance at being able to beat out. But very nice throw from DeMartini onto first as he's able to retire Seidl.
So 1 down for Chris Newell. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Struck out twice swinging and also lined out to the shortstop in Alex Freeland. He's got a chance here with 1 away in the 7th. And first pitch from Sundloff is outside for ball 1. And Tim, you talked about it, but yeah, great place to develop pitchers. The coaching is a big reason why the Cape Cod League has been so successful in the Premier Summer Baseball League. 1-0 now to Chris Newell. And it's bounced in the dirt. Make it 2-0. Joe Vitrano on deck, and then Kenny Lavari, should we get that far.
Yeah, I mean, just you have so many excellent coaches across the Cape Cod Baseball League right now. It's been especially impressive to watch what has been, I think, an historic era here across the league.
So that one misses once again. 3 balls and no strikes.
Because when you look atop the table in regards to managerial records in the Cape Cod Baseball League, you have 6 of the top 7 most winningest coaches in the Cape Cod Baseball League who are active right now.
So that one just finds a zone. 3-1 now to Newell.
Kelly Nicholson, Steve Englert, Mike Roberts, Jeff Trundy, Harvey Shapiro, and Scott Pickler all active here across the league. And so no surprise that this has really been just an excellent era of baseball for the league.
As Newell grounds this one on a hop over to shortstop, Freeland gathers and goes on to first. 2 up, 2 down here to start things for Sundloff.
Coach Englert, looking at him specifically, right now up to 386 wins. He currently sits in 6th all-time among the winningest head coaches in Cape Cod Baseball League history. Have to see if he reaches 400 this season, but certainly it's been impressive to watch what he's done with this squad since 2003.
Yeah, magic number for Harwich wins for him to get there is 20. They have 6 right now. 1-0 now to Vetrano. He is 1 for 3. He's flied out to center, singled and scored, and struck out looking.
And then you've got a couple of big coaching milestones that were hit this season as well. Of course, Scott Pickler passing John Schiffner for the all-time most winningest head coach in league history. Harvey Shapiro over 500 regular season wins now, as that one's in for a called strike, 1-1 to Vetrano. Jeff Trundy reaching 500 total career wins, playoffs included, across his illustrious 23-year career.
1-1 to Vetrano. And pitch from Sunluff. Outside and away, 2-1.
And then you also have Mike Roberts, who's getting ready to eclipse the 400 mark in regards to regular season wins. Needs just 6 more, and with the way that Katuitt's playing, they might get it by the end of the week.
2 balls and a strike to the Boston College infielder, and he fouls that one back. 2-2.
That one hit a branch, actually got redirected back up. I wonder if he ended up coming down. Always love the scenery here across the league. I mean, you find yourself at elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. This is baseball. I mean, the players don't even get walk-up songs. It's just Rockwellian, I believe. Yes, I think it's the term. Norman Rockwell, famous for his Americana paintings across the years as the 2-2's fouled back.
Yeah, we have one in our house here at the Cape. It's a little sailor. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vetrano hanging in there, trying to put together a good at-bat. Harwich with just 6 hits. Brewster with 12. Here comes the 2-2 offering from Sunluff. Whipped it way outside, and it's 3-2.
And then just one last note on these coaches here. Again, I mentioned 6 out of the top 7 all active coaches. They've all been in the league 17 plus years, these 6. It's just been so impressive to see these coaches who have been able to maintain their presence here in the league and a historic setting as well.
Payoff. This is chopped off himself. Vetrano in some serious pain. He winces on the ground, rolls it over, and yeah, he's definitely hurt. Umpire will try and buy him some time. Trainer is going to make her way out. Check on Joe.
Yeah, that was, I mean, any ball that's going to come off the bat of Joe Vetrano, that's going to, even when redirecting it back into himself, is going to come in hot. And so he is laboring here. I believe it's his right foot he's trying to make sure is all fine, but obviously you don't want to speculate too much as to what exactly it could be here. Perhaps just a stinger, as it looks like he's going to stay in the game here.
So good for that. Vetrano will hang in there, 3-2, trying to find his way on base one way or another. Sunloff staying composed. His pitch count is up to just about 15 as we speak, but 7 in this at-bat to Vetrano. This will be the 8th coming in here. Vetrano taking his time. Now he digs in. A little tender on that knee. He's still trying to see how it'll be. Payoff pitch set to come here. And he swings and misses. It was bounced in the dirt. They apply the tag, and he'll limp back to the dugout. Good thing he's the designated hitter. Won't have to go out in the field. But Mariners go down in order, 1, 2, 3. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch here at Stony Brook Field. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Welcome back. Tim Foley, Devin Dobeck along with you as we enter the bottom of the 7th. Andrew Ronnie will be back out there to face 9-1-2 of the Brewster Whitecaps. Javier Vaz on the day has struck out, flied out to left, doubled, stolen a base, and scored. He's up in the count 2-0 to the struggling righty for the Mariners. His first inning, a difficult one. He went an inning, of course, and allowed the 2 hits, 1 walk, struck out 1. Left him loaded, but it was not easy as the count now 3-0.
Yeah, made it interesting, and this is a Brewster team that's not going to let many opportunities like that be left on the table as they did back in that 6th inning.
As a 4-pitch walk issued by Ronnie. So there's 1 on here with nobody away.
Now batting, the
And top of the order coming up, a chance to do more damage for the Whitecaps. They did not score last inning, but prior to that, they'd scored in 4 of the first 5. Here comes the first pitch to Alex Freeland, the leadoff hitter on the day. Alex 1 for 4. This is his 5th at-bat in 6 innings. He struck out twice, grounded out to second, and then had an RBI single. 1-0 catches the bottom of the zone, breaking ball there, 1-1.
Yeah, everybody's been able to get on here today for the Whitecaps. It's been really impressive. I mean, almost similarly enough for the Mariners. Chris Newell, the only one not to get on. It's not been a bad day offensively for Harwich. I mean, the 5 runs, that's more run support really than you've been getting all season long, but today the pitching has just been jumped by these Whitecap bats.
2-1 as that one lifted out to center field. Going back is Newell. He's got it, and that will be out number 1 here in the Brewster 7th.
Yeah, it's a loud out at that. Freeland, he's been looking to line one today, but unable to get all of it. Just hangs up for Chris Newell out in center. But there have been a lot of hard hit balls today by the Whitecaps. I mean, we've seen 3 extra base hits from them. Tatro had the triple back in the 1st. It was a home run then for DeMartini back in the 3rd, and then a double from Vaz back in the 5th inning, excuse me. As a team, the Whitecaps have hit for the cycle.
That is true.
Yeah.
As we have a pinch hitter, Dixon Black will come in for Davis Diaz. Diaz went 1 for 4 with a single and a run, but now comes Dixon Black. He's hitting 105 on the season. Count evened up at 1 to him. He's got 2 hits, OBP of 150, just 19 at-bats for the kid from Monmouth University. So here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball down in the dirt, 2-1.
Teammate of former Harwich Mariner and Outstanding Pitcher of the Year award winner for 2021, Trey Dombrowski.
As that one kind of took off his lips almost, came all the way up and in. Great job to get out of the, they're going to say got him. Not sure where it hit him, but he will be awarded first base to the surprise of just about everyone left here at Stony Brook Field, and it's 1st and 2nd now.
Hunter Stokely was standing over at first, sort of shrugging, trying to figure out what had happened as Dixon Black headed down his way over toward first.
Coach Engler not pleased. He comes out of the dugout, and the umpires are going to convene and try and get this right. I didn't think it got him. Based on his reaction where the pitch was, it would have hit him in the face if it did get him, and he would have been in a lot more pain than he is now.
And I think that it would have not been as clean a pop of the mid of Tatum Levens had it redirected at all off the head area of Black. We'll see what they ultimately decide here. As Black's taking a base, it's up to the umpires to prove him wrong after the fact, I suppose, as Mendham already stands in.
So, not sure what's going on here. They are going to give him first base, to the dismay of all the Harwich fans. So, bizarre sequence there. Harwich has had a couple tough breaks, and Engler going to hang out, or head out there now rather, and talk things over, maybe make a call to the bullpen, and he will. We'll take a quick break and be right back to bring you Ronnie's line and the new pitcher when we return. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The first baseman from Oklahoma State, number 7, David Mendham.
Welcome back. One out here in the 7th. Brewster's got 2 on, and coming up to the plate, the 3-hitter David Mendham. Wyatt Scotty, the call to the bullpen. Night is over for Andrew Ronnie. He goes 1 1/3, allows 2 hits, 2 walks, strikes out 1. No runs allowed yet, but his line not closed just now as Wyatt Scotty, the pitcher, enters the game, and he's had an abysmal season for Harwich thus far, 0-2. That's the ball club high in losses. He's made 2 starts, a 16.61 ERA across just 4 1/3 in those 2 starts. Struck out 2, walked 2, and allowed 10 hits. He has just really struggled here, and also allowed the most runs on the Harwich Mariners with 8 as this one flipped into right center field. Seidl going to throw one home, but the runner held up. It was a bullet. Probably would have had him out at the plate. But everybody moves up a station, and they're all loaded up now. 1 batter and 1 hit. Wyatt Scotty's woes continue here.
Yeah, and just 1 out here in the inning. So plenty of ways for Trevor Werner to try to get a ball into play, even be it a fly ball into the outfield and drive a run in, as you have a man on third now in Vaz.
So Trevor Werner will climb in. Trevor on the day has singled and scored, grounded to short, singled once again, and flied out to right. The Whitecaps are up to 13 hits on the day. Scotty checks in with strike 1 there to the cleanup hitter. And the next one, he beaned him. Wyatt Scotty hits the second man he sees. In comes another run to make it 10-5, and still just 1 out.
Yeah, things just continue to go from bad to worse. That's the second hit batter in the inning for the Mariners. That's the fourth out of 5 batters to come up to bat to get on. And now you have a man in Grayson Tatro who is 3 for 4 on the day with a triple, 2 runs scored, 2 singles, up to bat.
Yes, and as you mentioned, he will be the guy up. Tatro, a dangerous hitter. 3 for 4, and Scotty finally gets a strike in on him. Scotty's last outing came in the doubleheader against Wareham on June 26. He went an inning and a third, threw 32 pitches, gave up 4 hits and 6 runs thanks to a grand slam hit by the gateman. And those 6 runs would be all they need as they were able to defeat Harwich 6-5. A very brutal loss for the club, and it all was on Scotty. 1-2 now to Grayson Tatro, trying to add to his marvelous day thus far. And misses outside there, 2-2. Tatro has scored twice. He's got the 3 hits, a pair of RBI. His average is boosted all the way up to 327. Nothing you can complain about with how he's been tonight. Checked his swing. No, he did not, says the third base umpire. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Scotty into his windup and delivers. That is outside. He walks in another man. These will be charged to Ronnie as he left the game with first and second. So they're all loaded up again here with 1 out.
And that does close Ronnie's line. Officially, those are 2 runs charged against him. So an inning and a third, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout to his name.
So that'll bring up Logan Bravo, another dangerous hitter. Brewster Whitecaps lead this one 11-5. The sun going down here as the 1-0 offering is on the inside corner to make it 1-1.
And, you know, we're looking at the timing of everything, and this game pretty much on pace to be the longest of the season for the Mariners with the way it's going. But daylight going to become a question as we're getting close to 8 o'clock on the eastern coast.
This one ripped into left field. Scoring easily is the runner in Mendham. The play to the plate not in time, as in to score is Trevor Werner. Still runners on first and second. That's another 2 RBIs for Logan Bravo, and the Whitecaps out to a 13-5 lead.
Really not much you can say. Obviously, you hope that Scotty coming into the game would be able to give you something here, a fresh arm and a tough spot. But all 4 he's faced have gotten on, and the Whitecaps continue to rule here from Stony Brook Field.
It's just been one of those days for the Mariners. They got a little burst of offense, showed some life in the 3rd and 4th inning when they combined for 5 runs. 0-1, bounced in the dirt. DeMartini hit a 3-run home run back in the 3rd. He's also walked, stole a base, scored again, and walked again. He's also been hit by a pitch, so reached base 4 times. A real pain for the Mariners. Goes right through that one, though, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, and again, just want to bring attention back to the fact the Mariners have not won here at Stony Brook Field in almost 3 years. July 17th, 2019.
1-2. Fouled back and will stay there. Skitters back towards the Mariners dugout. Scotty on there. He's had a difficult day thus far. First 2 won't be charged to him, but he hasn't helped himself out. Hasn't recorded an out since he's come in. He has let, I believe, 4 straight on base. As this is lined into shallow right field for a base hit. Rounding 3rd and coming in to score is Tatro. Or no, he's in there. Levens can't believe it. He thought he had the tag on the back of the base runner. Tatro almost got thrown out by Seidl out in right field. Levens pleading his case. He loses the appeal. Klump has not been a friend of the Mariners here tonight, as they now lead it by a score of, I believe, is it 13?
Should be 14.
14,
tonight.
yes. And now
14 to 5, but not that the Mariners have exactly been a friend to themselves here today either.
4 straight batsmen have come around to score. It was Black who pinch hit. Yes, there's been 5 runs in the inning. 4 straight, though, and Black, Mendham, Werner, and Tatro that have come in to score. It's 2nd and 3rd now. Still just 1 out.
And this is the most amount of runs the Mariners have allowed in a ball game this season at 14.
Yeah, it has been a difficult one, to say the least. It was close for a little while, but it always felt out of grasp for about 95% of the game. 1-1 coming to Curtis Byrne is bounced in the dirt to make it 2-1.
And, you know, I'd say it was really that bottom of the 3rd inning that really hurt the Mariners. Of course, they find themselves down 3-0. They scored 2 in the top of the 3rd as that one misses up high. It's 3-1 now to Byrne. Brought it back to a 3-2 game, then went down 6-2. Got it close again in the top of the 4th, but since then just been methodical for Brewster, and then of course here a crooked number in the 7th.
As it's now 3-2, Scotty working his way back. And Scotty kind of shocking when you think about how he's been for Harwich this year and then his college season. We'll get into that right after the payoff. They're going to ring him up. Klump punches out Curtis Byrne, and there's 2 away.
Just able to catch the bottom of the zone. You needed that.
So now the Brewster Whitecaps have batted around. Javier Vaz, who already walked and scored, will come back to the plate with 2nd and 3rd. And Scotty's line at Northeastern this season, he went 8-3 with a 2.88 ERA across 14 starts, 81 1/3 innings. He struck out 65 to just 8 walks. He was great for the Huskies, but just have had not even an ounce of that here in Harwich this summer. 1-1 to Javier Vaz.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a situation where you can tell a guy really learned his first time around the league and then was able to produce good numbers back during his college season the following spring, but it just has not translated well for him back here on the Cape for his 2nd go around.
As that one is in there for a 2-2 count. Yeah, had a 5.56 ERA for the Mariners last year. 2 starts, 4 games, 11 1/3 innings. As this one is lined into right field for a base hit. In to score is Bravo. DiMartini rounding the relay to the plate. And they're going to say he's safe. Levens now twice. He is visibly upset, and rightfully so. Coach Englert now going to head out there to talk to the home plate umpire, Klump. He has given them nothing here tonight.
Nothing's going right here for Harwich. And the sun can't set soon enough.
So it'll be a 2-run single for Vaz. Levens talking to the 3rd base umpire. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what's going on here. 16-5. And with the light going down, it'll be interesting to see if the coaches converge and ask if Harwich wants another meeting to see if they want to continue to play on in this ball game. First pitch now to the batter, and Alex Freeland up for his, 6th at-bat in 7 innings. 0-1 to him. And the pitch from Scotty swung on and missed, 0-2. You can see why Levens was upset, though. 2 plays that seemed to be very clearly outs that he's stuck out for, as this one is lifted into center field. Newell will get under it, and that finally ends a horrible 7th inning. 7 runs, a crooked number put up for the Whitecaps. Wyatt Scotty and Andrew Ronnie behind that madness. We head to the 8th inning. An 11-run ball game. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we're now into the 8th inning here. It'll be Lavari, Pauly, Stokely due up for the Mariners. Call to the bullpen. Night is over for Sunluff. He goes an inning, does not allow a hit, run, or walk, and punches out 1. Did his job, put the Mariners down in order. But now it'll be Brennan Oxford's turn with the torch. He is from Wake Forest, redshirt junior, 6'2", 205 from Durham, New Hampshire. He's appeared in 4 games this season, 1-0 record, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, has not allowed a run, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 doubles, as he's now even in the count 1-1 to Lavari.
So with the crooked number that Hyannis has put up right now over the Mariners, figured I'd dive into the archives a bit, see what we can find here. The last game that the Mariners allowed 16 runs against, they actually won. It was an 18-16 win last season.
As it's chopped over to second, easy 4-3 put out from Diaz over to Mendham.
That was
It's actually Black, excuse me.
Yes. That was against the Harbor Hawks back on July 24th, 2021. The last time the Mariners lost the game after allowing 16 runs, that was back on July 16th, 2012, almost 10 years ago. A 16-10 loss to the YD Red Sox at home.
As this ball is ripped over towards the dugout. Cameraman on the roof of the dugout just saw his life flash before his eyes.
And then one last game for you here. Funny enough, that same season in 2012, the Mariners lost another big one against the Whitecaps, 19-1. That was Whitecaps team that ended up with a sub-500 record compared to that of Harwich, which was 27-16-1.
0-2 to Graham Pauly. He's had a nice day, one of the few bright spots for Harwich. Pair of hits, and also popped out to second, looking for his first 3-hit game as a Harwich Mariner. 0-2. Misses outside, makes it 1-2.
So obviously not ideal box scores to be dragging up, but always interesting to recognize history as it happens before you.
And we just saw a 7-run seventh from Brewster. Am I seeing an 11-run seventh from them in that ball game?
Yes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hunter Stokely on deck. Mariners playing for pride at this point. Sun going down, and they got just 5 more outs to come up with a seemingly impossible amount of runs as Pauly sends this one down the right field line, but over to get it is Tatro, and he will have it for out number 2.
And if I had to guess, Devin, I would say the Mariners actually down to their final out. There was a discussion in between innings between the umpires and the benches, and you only see those discussions generally as the umpires are trying to determine whether or not to continue with the game. And so with this one largely in favor of the Whitecaps, a 11-run lead, this very well may be it, the final out of the 8th.
As Stokely grounds this one over towards first, but foul. It got a piece of him. 0-1. And yeah, there's been a lot that's happened. We think back all the way to when Mayer was frustrated back in the first or second inning when he didn't get a strike 3 call. That led to another run. And then there was the hit by pitch that was controversial. Sent a runner over to first. He came around to score. A couple plays at the plate that Klump said were safe when Levens pleaded that he had got the runner on the back and that they were out. Both of them did not go Harwich's way. Nonetheless, they still probably are down in this ball game by a surmountable margin. As 0-1 to Stokely, he flips it into shallow right center field. Charging in is Vaz, Tatro as well, but it'll be Vaz who comes down with it for out number 3, and that will be the ball game. As Harwich drops this one 16-5, the final. And yes, that will be the end of the game, so we'll take a quick break and bring you the Harwich Mariners post-game show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Harwich Mariners post-game show. Devin Dobeck with Tim Foley. Mariners fall 16-5. Something that has not happened since about a decade ago, as you were able to find Tim. Good work on that, but a tough one. 16 runs on 16 hits for the Whitecaps. 5 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors for the Harwich Mariners. They couldn't get out of their own way tonight. And after a night with such dominant pitching, it seemed like they were brought down to earth more than ever, Tim.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I think between the 2 nights, things have sort of balanced out between for the Harwich Mariners pitching staff. Just everything that went wrong could have. I mean, 2 errors in the ball game. Fielding could have been a bit better. And then, of course, you look at the pitching as a whole, and some ugly outings. A lot of walks in this game across all of the Mariners pitching here tonight. You had 4 collective walks, a couple of hit batters, and just whichever way you cut it. An ugly loss for the Mariners. Ugliest of the season. Ugliest in a long time, again, as we found. And so they are certainly going to look to forget about this one as they continue to struggle here from Stony Brook Field. Again, have not won a game here at Stony Brook Elementary since 2019.
Just been what that is, and a few bright spots for the Mariners. Graham Pauly, a multi-hit game. Tatum Levens, a multi-hit game. Tommy Seidl hit a home run, but that about wraps us up as 16-5 the final once again. We'll take one last sign-off here on behalf of all of our media team. Tim Foley, myself, Devin Dobeck, thank you for joining us on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network, and always remember to live the dream.